Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to today's specially timed edition of Beyond the Ordinary Show. And we have Susan Kennard who's joining us from the UK. And so we wanted to accommodate the time so it wouldn't have to be at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, her time. But I'm also happy that we're starting early now. There's something about the 2-2 frequencies that we ignited yesterday that are just in this potent stage is still filtering in the gifts of that portal for us, and they're going to continue for a while. But while it's heightened and while we have this ability to go into these healing chambers that you're going to find out more about if you're not familiar with, just familiarizing yourself in the conversation will open up something up. And then of course doing something with Susan and going into the special offer and with the healing chambers and a few private one-on-ones that are available, will of course take you deeper into the experience, but there's so much available right now. So we're going to dive in. Susan's going to be talking to us about attuning your frequency to the galactic codes of love. And it's another level of attunement. So Susan writes in some of the bullet points, she talks that whether you're in a relationship and wish to deepen your union, or single and looking to attract your divine complement or soulmate, or if you want to strengthen your relationship with family, friends, and colleagues, then the Galactic Healing Chambers will attune you to the higher frequencies of the galactic codes of love. And again, we're going to get deeper into what all this means and decipher the energetics and imprint it onto you during today's call. So if you're familiar with Susan, well, if you're not familiar with Susan, you already know the energy that's coming through. It's just, it's so good and so easy. It's not a lot of this in your head if you're listening on the audio. It's not a lot of running through your mind trying to grasp, even though, of course, your mind is also intimately involved in that union with the essence of you that's receiving all this information. So again, you're going to feel all of it. And I want to invite you to just sit back, relax, receive, and we'll open up to Q&A for anyone who's interested in asking Susan their personal question or tapping into what might be available in the healing chamber. So Susan is known as a spiritual scientist, a specialist in early childhood trauma, and originally was a psychologist and psychotherapist in child protection and local authority. She has over 20 years of extensive experience working with trauma, including veterans and PTSD. Susan works mostly on Zoom and telephone, allowing distance to be no barrier, but she also works remotely, which is really cool. Again, we'll talk a little bit about that afterwards. Susan's appeared on national TV, newspapers, magazines, and is interviewed on about her transformative work and teachings in telesummits, podcasts, and other media platforms. She's a speaker and she speaks publicly at conferences about her research and new innovations within her work. And essentially, Susan's work helps you to release fear, allowing love and more light to be reflected from your cells into your inner and outer experience. It's kind of like a mirror. Your external life is a mirror, and it is the mirror that tells you how you're vibrating. She does this by combining her traditional training with her spiritual gifts. And Susan, it's with that I want to welcome you back to your second season on Beyond the Ordinary. This is the second time.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's wonderful to have you here. And so we started to talk about these love codes and these healing chambers. And before we get into the nuts and bolts and the transmissions of that, how did you come up with these transmissions? How did you come up with these healing chambers? What intelligence are you connected to that comes through you that allows you to share in this way?
Yeah, I mean, mostly Galactic. You know, the Galactics have been working with me for many years now, and I'll explain a bit more about them in a minute. But essentially, at the 8-8 portal last year, which was the Lionsgate, I was given the chambers and they started to develop. And I started to ask, well, how are these working? And with me being a scientist, I always like to kind of test things out. So I started to see that instantly when these chambers were channeled, that actually people started to feel instantly the relief of whatever it was they wanted to heal. So what happened over time, over the last few months in the year, they started to develop in a way where I could create them and channel them with the guides. And they were mainly the Palladians, the Arcturians. Mother Mary comes in a lot, Jeshua comes in a lot, and then we have um, all of the different angelic frequencies depending on the chamber. And so it's on a deep healing level that it happens. And it's always if you imagine sort of a crystal bed that you're lying on, but you're lying on it in a soft way, like as if you're receiving a massage. But essentially, you're in this chamber remotely and all your needs are met. You know, who doesn't want that, right? And so you don't have to think about, oh, I need to heal this, I need to heal that. You just kind of surrender as you decide to step into the chamber. So whatever it is about, and this season, you know, for me with you is all about unity and love. And I thought that it was a really great subject for February because actually the 222 portal, which was yesterday, and we have another one coming up on the 22nd of Feb, the whole of February is such a powerful time to really trust and surrender. And so it makes sense that love is the answer. And I'm not just talking romantic love, but we're talking, you know, we're talking the union of love, of who we truly are in that unity. So that's kind of a long answer to the question, but essentially it is the galactics. It was channeled to me, the chambers were channeled to me around about the 8-8 portal last year. And then they've developed as the months have gone on. And one of the chambers that I'm offering is not available at this point in time. It's only available for you guys. So that's exciting. It was
That's
channeled specifically.
that's wonderful. And we'll get into the special offer in a little
Mm,
bit, y'all, but
yeah.
I do just want to say in advance, there's a limited amount of one-on-one sessions available with Susan. So if you know that you're interested, you may want to go out there because after 20, it's closed off, but there's other offers as well. There's
Yeah.
other ways to connect with the healing chambers. So it's
Sure.
amazing. It truly is. My experience of it was tremendous. But talking about experience, and I want to get into the love codes in just, or the galactic
Mm.
codes of love in just a little bit. What kind of benefits do you witness the people that work with you receiving from being in these healing chambers?
Yeah, I mean, pretty incredible. I mean, the testimonials are on the site, but incredible experiences where people heal their relationships, whether it's with their mother, their father, their partner, so on, where they're healing their physical body in some cases, where they're actually opening opportunities with their mission as well. And I hear, and money as well. Money, I keep getting emails about that. Had this windfall, this came in, you know, it's really exciting. And I get emails all the time from people that are saying, I can't thank you enough for the healing chambers. It allowed me to feel, and whatever it is. And it's so it's as if people, once they trust and surrender, sometimes they forget about it. And then they say, oh my goodness, I no longer feel this, or I no longer have that thought pattern, or I seem to be attracting just more abundance in my life. And so, even though this is all about love, of course, the frequency of love is mission. And mission is love, and love is money. And so, the key thing really is our frequency. And so, that frequency of love is really where I wanted to work with these chambers with you.
That's
Mm.
beautiful, and I love that you're bringing it in. I had an experience a few months ago where I woke up and this knowing was just burning through me, and I needed someone to witness it and guide me into it. So I reached out to a very dear friend who's just that I just think so highly of. It can hold this very refined space. I would have reached out to you. You were in the UK. It was like 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. It would have been way too early for you, or late, one of the two. But I had this knowing that I needed to be in divine union with myself, that this devotion and this ceremony needed to take place of what I knew I was committing to. And I have to had called someone and asked them to ask me if I was ready and willing
Wow.
to say I do to
Mm-hmm.
myself, which was really
Yeah,
coming through. And this, it's so in alignment with these galactic codes of love that you're
yeah,
talking about. It's so resonant with that. And I have
yeah.
to ask you, why is it that this is coming up now? Why are we now ready to step into these new galactic codes?
Well, what I've been told and what I really feel deeply is the portals of energy. So
Mm.
these portals of energy, and it's tangible. It's very tangible right now. People have been saying to me that they feel this just a complete sense of awareness, and the veil is thinner, and the consciousness is getting brighter within them, and they're able to communicate with their mission and their guides and so on. But I really feel it's the portal energy that we're going through. And this is almost like, so it's like the new earth without it being a brand new ball of earth that we're going to step into. It's the frequency of the golden earth. I was editing my book yesterday, and part of it in my book is about the golden earth. And I was reading it and editing, and I thought, wow, yeah, this is now. This is now. And we essentially, as we raise our frequency, and I know you know this, John, but as we raise our frequency, then essentially we're raising the frequency of love within us. Therefore, we are actually working with the planet, we're working with Gaia, Mother Earth, and we're working with obviously the multiverse, and it's all one. And this is why I think this union is coming in. I think this is why we are having to feel, what's that? They're saying to me, we're embodying the feeling of union. And that union is with everyone, everything, and definitely our guides. So we are coming into union as one might have a marriage, and you said literally, I do. If you would have a marriage, then essentially we're marrying, we're committing, and we're making that decision that we are a union with all. And it's not just with another in a romantic relationship, although that is important too. And I'll talk a bit about that later. But essentially, we're coming together with the oneness of who we are. And, living our mission to me is the oneness of who we are. Aside from anything else, that union of knowing that we are walking our mission,
Yeah.
which is love.
I
Yeah.
want to be a little seemingly contradictory with you, but
Go on
not
then.
because
Okay.
this is it's so the vibration is increasing. If we have more
Yeah.
access to it, if it's becoming available to us, then I'm under the knowing that it's happening to everybody. So why would
Yeah.
somebody need to listen to you, come on Beyond the Ordinary show and do
Sure.
something to like tap into it if it's happening organically? It's like,
Sure.
what is it about the work that we're sharing that's actually providing benefit for other
Yeah.
people, right?
Well, I think, I found this yesterday with some people when I was working with them around the vortex. I was seeing that some people are in resistance to it. And that's not because they're saying, I don't want to, I don't want to. It's just the aspects of, the trauma that we've had, the childhood experiences, the thought forms, the epigenetics, the ancestral, the past lives. They're all just like little bits of dust in our field. And so all of those bits of dust are affecting our expansion of love. So it's not that there's anything wrong with us, it just means it's like a tidying up. And I would rather say it like that. It's in the old days, we would trawl through. I was a psychotherapist in my previous life, as you know, and we would trawl through the trauma. And now we don't have to do that. We just acknowledge that and say, actually, yeah, I can feel this resistance. I feel on edge. I feel anxious. I feel headachy. I feel whatever it might be. And these are all symptoms just coming up, beautiful symptoms of the body speaking to us via our soul to say, this part of me needs healing.
Mm.
Okay. And that's not to take away, if you have a physical problem, here's my disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. Okay. So if you have a physical problem and you're listening to this, then it's your responsibility to see a medical practitioner. However, there are lots of reasons why our body is showing a message, and most of them at the moment are just little messages to say, oh, you're holding this, vibration of trauma within you, and maybe it's a headache and you're expanding your crown energy and you're bringing in more light, and that's just a resistance. So the reason why we need um, channels and people to help us heal is because we all need people and we all need assistance. And
Right.
John, you just clearly said you reached out to a beautiful friend when you needed it. I reach out to colleagues as well, and we all need a hand to take us in the right direction sometimes, and I've been doing this work for a very long time, but we are all on this journey. And depending on where we want to go, we're tweaking and turning and shifting our frequency all of the time. So where you are now, you're met, and the way you want to be is when you step into the galactic chambers and you say, actually, I just want to be a higher frequency of love. And
Mm,
that is where I think the
big, right?
magic happens.
And it facilitates a graceful transition into the energy
Mm,
rather than a really choppy one that potentially can involve a lot of reliving or
yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
mental looping
yeah.
that really we can bypass if we're in the
Mhm.
vibrational framework and
Yeah.
environment to allow that smooth transition. Um, I'm curious, and the question just came to me. You mentioned these, you talk, your work is through these healing chambers.
Mm,
I'm imagining like a pod that I'm laying in or whatever, but what did these healing chambers look
yeah.
like to
Yeah, sure. I mean, being clairvoyant, I really feel honored that I can see them. And when I was channeled them, I was actually, funny you said about a pod, I was actually in one of those sensory pods. And if you've ever been in one, and you
you?
go into some sensory deprivation and you're in Epsom salts and you just float. And I was literally in a pod. It's quite funny, really, when I was channeled the chambers. But when I now channel them with my guides and hold the space, they show me is an example. They show me like a crystal chamber, like a cave, and but very bright and very light. And depending on what the subject is that we're healing, it depends on the color of it. Okay, so and then I see it sort of like the colors of crystals. So if it's rose quartz, then of course it would be that beautiful pink color. And then I see quite a lot in the chambers right now is diamond light. So I see the diamond light. And then I see all the beings coming in. So Melchizedek comes in now with every chamber because he is the one that activates mission. So that, once the healing has taken place, he activates the mission to a higher level as well, a higher frequency, quite often going into the higher heart or the third eye. So I see that happen as well. Many of the light council come in, the angelic frequencies, as I said before. I see the ancestral energy. So if there's ancestral energy that needs healing, I see the essence of that. That's kind of on the left hand side. And then on the right hand side, I see the past life energy. And Mother Mary steps in and she works with the inner child. And sometimes I see so the person will be lying on the bed, on the crystal bed, and sometimes I'll see the light body come out from the physicality, and they work with the physical body. Okay, work with the healing of that, detoxing everything, all the organs and so on, and the bones, the shocks held in the bones, so that gets healed. The thought forms, quite often the Pleiadians come in and do that, work with the neural pathways in the thought forms. And then I see the frequency of the crystalline field, and that is incredible. And quite often it's with the diamond light or it's with a rainbow frequency that comes in. And then I see the whole of the chamber expanded in that frequency. I mean, it's just a wonderful thing to experience. I feel very honored to experience it. So yeah, that's kind of an experience of it, but it does differ depending on who I'm working with and what particular chamber it is.
So when someone goes in a chamber initially, and then when they're out of the chamber,
Yeah,
you tell
yeah.
the difference?
They can tell the difference. So essentially, when I'm doing private one-to-one chambers, then I leave them in it because the guides will tell me. I think when we did ours, I think you were in it for like 3 weeks or something. I can't remember, but
Right.
essentially you get left in it. So remotely, you mentioned about remote work, and remotely you stay in it. So the private ones can be anything from a week to 3 months or whatever the person needs, and the guides will tell me exactly how long they need to be in it. Okay. So I don't actually witness them straight after the chamber, but I witness them telling me. So I witness them saying to me, oh, I could feel that, or I could feel the angels around me, or I could hear this, or whatever it is. So yeah, I get to experience it that way.
Yeah, and my experience
Yeah.
also was the synchronicity showing up, demonstrating like as confirmation of what was shifting and what was amplifying as well. And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you need deep, well, need. It doesn't matter where you are in your journey of
Hmm.
exploring and coming to more recognition of the light within you,
Yeah.
whether you think you're in a fantastic place or if there's something that's just nudging you for something else, there's expansion. And again, the codes of
Yeah.
these galactic
Mm.
codes of love, it's love's endless. And so our
Yeah.
experience and our
Seamless.
capacity to
Mm.
fill that cup, it's like
Yeah.
it's the next level of experience to it. It's another level of awe and wonder of us getting to know something that we don't know, and what a beautiful
Hmm.
part of being in this human body.
And the
And
codes is interesting because they do quite often, I quite often see Melchizedek coming in and I see the codes, the galactic codes going in to the person's frequency that I'm working with. So, and also when I'm channeling the remote ones as well. So yeah, it's interesting that you said that because that is essentially what happens. And so as this coding is happening, we know this already. Like we are already aware that we are these incredible beings of light and that these codes that are coming in, we ask for them right now. We forget that though. We forget we're in our remembering phase and we forget that we've asked. So if you feel drawn to a chamber or even all of them, then there's a reason why you're drawn to it. And it's because it's the time for you to do that
Mhm.
frequency shift. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Now
Yeah.
it's Cynthia wrote in, and Cynthia, it sounds like Heros Gamos, my experience. Absolutely. That's one of the first things that came. It was that and so much more.
Hmm.
And the marrying the masculine and the feminine within myself, the balancing
Yeah.
that is occurring, which is beautiful. But it also has to do with connecting to partnership in physical form as well. And so you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier that again, these
Hmm.
codes are
Hmm.
activating
Hmm.
the potential of that in a different way as well. So tell us more about that.
So I really, what the guys have been channeling to me recently, which is great for me as well. But they've been channeling and saying that, and you, John, that it is. I like the word divine complement. And when you feel that you are in a place of unity with yourself and you know who you are and you're quite happy that you are who you are and you're in that love space, and of course, we can always raise that frequency, then this is the time for our divine complement to show up if we do not have one. Yeah. And that is such an exciting aspect, and I feel in the 2-2 energy, in the 2022 energy, this is where the union is coming in, and it has to be in the alignment with our frequency. So I don't know about you, John, but I'm very excited about this 2-2 frequency. And I'm really happy on my own. I'm like, really, I live a free abundant life. It's great, but it would be lovely to be with that divine complement. And so I'm ready for that. And so if you're ready for that, then this is a great opportunity to step into these chambers. But if you are with someone as well, if you are in that union, then what happens is your frequency shifts to the union of your divine mate. So if that is the person you're with, then it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And that is beautiful to see. I see that with people all of the time. And if it's something that isn't for your highest and best, if you are a frequency that is changed and you've perhaps been on a completely different journey to your partner or your husband of 25 years or something, then it might be that you will be then in a completely new frequency where that person you're meant to divinely union with will be coming in. So, you know, it is a time of choosing whether you want to be in a lower vibration and perhaps be in the old earth, or be in a newer vibration, which is the frequency of pure, seamless love, and be in the golden earth. And that's where I'm definitely up for the golden earth, you know. I don't know if anybody else is, but I'm up for the golden earth.
I think a lot of people want to meet you there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful. I have to address a question that came in the chat. Gail wrote that she thinks option 3 is already sold out for the session,
Oh,
and it's not, Gail.
no.
But we're not sold out yet. April just confirmed that with me. So if you want to try again, it should be working. If not, any of y'all can email April at beyondtheordinaryshow.com and make sure that you get help in doing that. I'm guided to open up to questions
Go ahead.
from the audience. I want to start with questions. If you want to ask your personal question, raise your hand. We'll get you live on. And I'll start promoting some of y'all to panelists so we can get you going. And as that's happening, I want to read this question that came in. And I'm trying to find it here, so excuse me.
Sorry.
Rachel writes, hello and thank you. I bought the abundance chamber last time you were on BTO and have not noticed any differences. Is there a time frame surrounding the chambers, and am I still connected to it? And when is it that sometimes it actually is working, but the consciousness of it just isn't seeping in?
Yeah, that's the thing. So you're not in it now unless you chose to continue and choose to do it, but you did it either for a month or you did it for 3 months. So I don't know what package she would have bought, but essentially it's working on a deep level. So with the abundance, it's not just about money, it's not just about that, it's about the whole of our life. And so what happens is we see very subtle differences, but our frequency is changing all of the time. So it's just a startup, you know. If she felt that she hasn't seen anything tangibly happen, then it is shifting and changing the frequency anyway. Yeah.
And I know I've gone through some of these initiations also where something's
Yeah.
just not moving in the way
Not
that I want
everybody.
it to. And the rub of that's like, but it's not working. It's like,
I know.
just
Yeah.
breathe. It's and notice where perhaps you are feeling shifts that are subtle. And actually the subtle can tend to be quite profound when we tap into it. So really,
I'm also hearing the sorry, just Joshua's steps are
yeah,
right in here. So as soon as she said you wanted to take calls, it's right in here next to me. So Joshua is saying that it is really about trust and surrender. And so it's not like the old way of stepping into something. Like we don't have these kind of, I want that fixed, I want that fixed, I want that fixed. We go in saying, right, I'm open to whatever happens in my life, or whatever happens in my body, whatever happens in my heart. And so what I'm hearing is, yeah, thank you. So if we have a fixed idea, then we're not opening our heart to any possibility. That's what I'm hearing from Joshua.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. And it's really funny because I laugh when I'm in ceremony or going through some type of group work. And I can't say I laugh, but my heart just smiles
Mm,
when they ask me what my intention is. It's like,
yeah.
I said, what's happening is so much bigger than what my brain can comprehend, that
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
surrendering to and trusting that the love and benevolence that's coming through me is guiding me rather than
Yeah.
the small capacity in my mind, because my consciousness can only receive up to certain aspects of what my mind tells it to. And if I tell my mind that I need to put it in a box,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
that's where
That's a
it's
very
going
good
to end
point.
up. So,
Mm.
right.
And
So,
that's, I suppose that's where we also in our fear, aren't we? So if we just an element of fear and a little element of control, it's like, well, I'm going to do that and that's all going to be fixed and everything is going to change overnight. And of course, that isn't how our journey is. Our journey is of expansion and understanding more and more about who we are on this journey, and self-love. So, you know, the chambers, these particular ones that we have, you know, these are really about our union with ourselves as well.
mm.
So, yeah,
And our
huge.
union to health, and our union to
Yeah.
prosperity, and our
Oh,
union to other
absolutely.
people, and our union to
Yeah.
confidence, and our union to these galactic beings. And it's just
Hmm.
it's so beautiful as
Yeah.
we breathe into what's possible and don't get into, again, siphoning it into one
Mm.
particular area. It's like it doesn't have to
Yeah.
happen in one day, but if we allow the grace and the timing of it to unfold, what you receive is
Yeah.
like so much more than what you were hoping for or thought possible. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
And the
all right.
peace, I think, the peace as well, that there's like an element of, um, yeah, so being in the present moment. So being in the present moment is the biggest gift ever. And one of the ways that we can do that is by trusting and surrendering. So I
Mm,
think one of the reasons why they channeled these to me was just so that it's the next step on our journey where we can say, okay, right, I'm not thinking about it, you know, I'm not thinking about it. I'm not saying, right, okay, I've got to do this, I've got to fix this. I'm not thinking about it. So we step in and allow. And allowing, I think, is a really big, the flow of allowing is a big thing for us
beautiful.
as humans, right?
Right. Absolutely. All right.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Let's go to a live caller now. Um, Corey, you seem busy over there. I want to call on you right now. Um, if you can unmute, you're busy bee over there. I see you on the video, probably taking notes. And it's wonderful to feel you and have you on the call. And what's your question for Susan?
Hi,
Thank you
Corey.
so much. Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Um, well, in this case, I have been single for a long time, and I feel that I'm ready to open up to a more deeper partnership and connection.
Hmm.
Lately, there's just like been things flying at me that have been keeping me busy. So John called that. Um, that I haven't really had time to focus on it or anything. So I'm just wondering if there's anything coming through on that front.
Well, the first thing that I got a sense of when I connected with your energy is almost as if you have these angel wings behind you. So I
Oh,
don't know if you're really connected to the angelic frequency, but the sense I got was that they were budding and they were really expanding. And so when I connected with that, I thought to myself, yeah, she's ready to spread her wings, her angel wings. And that is really the frequency of love. So it feels like you are ripe and ready. I'm not going to predict because that's not helpful to anybody, for someone to predict. But I definitely feel that the heart energy is opening up. There's a little bit here of resistance. Do you feel that as well? Do you feel a little bit of resistance? And all it is just there's a little 3-year-old part of you, and that 3-year-old part of you is just, oh, can I? Surely, can I? It's like this kind of open close. And just for a moment, just imagine that little 3-year-old part of you is just saying, yeah, actually, I'm in union with love. Yeah. So just imagine that and just feel that sense that that 3-year-old is just letting go. Yeah. Better. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a little tiny part of you, around about that age. My background's childhood, working with children's trauma and so on. And around about that age, we're going from the sense of um, I'm separate. We're never separate, right? But I'm separate from my mother and I am here in the world. And sometimes that is a bit of a transition for us at that age. And especially if, thank you, yeah, especially if we haven't been able to express ourselves in the way spiritually that we needed to. That's what I'm really hearing for you. So this is a time for you really to open your wings and express yourself spiritually. Thank you. Yeah, I'm also hearing that when you um, test it out with people and just speak really who you are. So the sense I'm getting is just test it out with people, with friends, with men, with women, whoever you feel drawn to, and just test it out. Just say, I know I'm really feeling connected to my angelic frequency today. And then, you're going to meet somebody who's ready to hear it, right?
Wow.
Yeah. Rather than somebody who, you know, maybe hasn't stepped into the golden earth just yet. Yeah. Does that
Yeah.
help you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you
No
so
problem.
much.
And I have to share from personal experience. It's really profound my understanding of what's been happening in personal relationship also. And I had the fortune to be in relationships, but they tend to last months instead of like that compliment that Susan is bringing awareness to. And that's really what I crave. And I realized that even in the transitions of those, and it's beautiful and so much love that can never be taken away, but it just wasn't quietly refined. And I wasn't quite refined to meet that compliment. So I understand that these are all layers of refinement that are taking place for this, that my heart is saying I'm wanting to, and it's the quality of that is the vibrational match, not the leaning in. Now, can someone grow in refinement with me? Yes, but I've been also going through my own healing chambers, if you will, to be at that level for what my soul, mind, and body and energy is really asking for. And so going to the experience is not thinking that it's not here. It's like, oh, it's here. I'm just preparing myself for it. And she is preparing herself for me. And I trust that and hold that. But in that Heros Gamos, in that union with myself, I am now more prepared than I ever have been to show up in a way that it's not a diluting of energy, a seeping in the way the old earth would have entangled us. And I think so many of us that are looking for that type of union are not willing to do it the old way anymore. We can't. It hurts too much in different ways. So I love that you're asking this, Corey. Thank you.
Thank
Perfect
you.
question.
Yeah. All right, I have to ask this question, and I'm going to get to some of y'all live also. We're going to continue with a lot of questions, but Melanie writes in, and this is so good. Melanie writes, I struggle with feeling confident speaking up in a group setting. That's why I'm not asking you to come on video. I'm not going to put you on. And can't seem to clear this. Do you have any suggestions what can help, or is there a healing chamber for this as well?
So obviously, everything is about love, so of course it would help you, but the feeling with this, with the public speaking and showing up and having a voice, that's always about judgment. There's always about the judgment of self and the ability to say, this is who I am. And the I am presence is that complete union of seamless love. And what I'm feeling that I want to say to you is that if you took your jacket off, meaning your body, not literally, but if you imagine you took your jacket off, underneath would be this incredible light that you are. And that part of you has no judgment, no fear, no concerns, nothing's going to get you, it's all perfect. And you know exactly why you're here, and you can just shine your light, and there's no restrictions. And then we put on our jackets, and we start to go, oh my goodness, well, somebody told me that when I was a child, or I brought that in from another time that I needed to heal in this lifetime. And I've got this running, it's an ancestral thing, or whatever it might be. And so this is how then in the frequency, and then it stops us from showing up. But I have to tell you that is a really good experience for you now. So if you feel that you want to come on and we can do a bit of healing for everybody, then that might be the first step for you being seen. So if she feels ready, I'm happy to do some healing work with her and everybody else.
I think that's
Messaging her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where is she?
Melanie, are you showing up? Let's see. She just raised
Melanie?
her hand. So let me promote her to panelist, and
Yeah.
we'll
See if she wants to come in.
She's going to be joining. And while she's joining, Susan,
Hi, Melanie.
Oh, there she is. Hold on. I was going to
Yeah.
get into the special offer,
Right.
but Melanie, let's get you
Yeah.
to turn on your video as well. There
Hi,
you
my
are.
love.
Hi.
Hi, beautiful.
Can you unmute your microphone, Melanie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi. What a great
Hi.
question. It's a brilliant question because many people find this an issue, and it's definitely not something that you step into overnight, is it, John? Actually,
Oh, it really isn't.
public speaking, and being seen, and all of that. That's a big journey, Melanie, right? But the key thing about it is really about the judgment, okay? And so it's not the judgment of others. Essentially, it's the judgment of yourself. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah. So come into your heart space, and this is for everyone. So let's just come into our heart space. Actually, if it's okay, John, I've got Mother Mary coming in here, and so
Absolutely.
I just
Yes.
want to do some, some light codes of love from Mother Mary, and she comes in and tones. So just receive this into your heart, because actually, clairvoyantly, I can see there are several children. Actually, there are several children going up to sort of teenage years. Melanie, does that make sense to you? Yeah, yeah. And I'm hearing, before she comes in, I'm hearing it is really your time to shine. And without that being a generic thing, it is really about your time to step out and speak from your heart. Okay. So just receive this, and this is for everybody to receive. Okay. So if you feel drawn to closing your eyes and putting your hands on your heart, and just receive this frequency in your heart. And I'm seeing a tuning fork. Actually, this comes into the chambers as well, but I'm seeing a tuning fork. And this tuning fork is the 528 frequency, which is miracle. So I'm seeing this being attuned now with everybody, this frequency of miracles. So how are you feeling, Melanie?
Good. Really good.
Yeah.
I felt a lot of anxiety leave
Yeah.
my chest. Yeah, very
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
Well, well done for coming on, and being seen and being open and ready to release that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Love yourself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Beautiful. Melanie, thank you. Look, you already came on. You
Thank
already
you, John.
wrote through most of it. Just by
Yes.
coming on in that way.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, I love the Mother Mary energy that comes in. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Can y'all feel that?
She is pretty amazing when she comes in. Yes.
Right, y'all. I'm feeling so many of y'all, and we're gonna get to more questions, but I want to go into the opportunity for you guys to work in a very specific healing chamber. And I think their session's still open. So April, if you don't mind, put the link for the special offer in the chat box. You can find the special offer, again, the different opportunities to work in the healing chamber or with Susan one-on-one through BTO. And there's an exclusive chamber in there for BTO as well, which is, I love it when the speakers do that for us. You can also get to the special offer page by going to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Susan27, and it'll take you to that same page. If for some reason, when you try to click on it, it's not opening for you. And April says there are still private sessions available. So that's wonderful. They'll take advantage of that. But Susan, guide us through the different healing chambers and the different opportunities to work with you in this way, please.
Yeah, sure. So essentially the one that isn't available anywhere else apart from here at this moment in time is the Divine Complement Soulmate Chamber. And so this one is really where we are refining. We've been speaking about it a little bit, but refining our vibration to either meet and attract our divine complement, twin flame, soulmate, whatever you want to call them, or to release everything that stops you from being in a really sacred union with the person you're with. Now, I've been seeing some of the messages here. I'm just noticing them out the corner of my eye. And a lot of people seem to be in long relationships where they feel that the marriage or the contract that they have together is maybe not for their highest and best now, but it has been up until now. And it just seems to be that it feels time for them to leave it. But there's a lot of fear around that. What happens in the chambers is it happens in such a beautiful way, and there's no, there's not arguments, there's not a blame or anything like that. Everything gets healed in a really profound, beautiful way, so that both of you can come to a perfect decision together that's the highest and best good. And I hear this all the time with people talking about the healing that they're doing. So this is in the divine complement soulmate chamber, but it also happens in the relationship one, because the relationship chamber is one of the chambers that I'm offering as well. And that is not just for your partner or love relationship, that is for any relationship in your life. So that is, your mother, your father, your friend, your work colleague, anybody at all that is in your frequency that needs the love vibration raising, that gets healed. So things like past lives that we've had together where, we don't know why there's a certain kind of resentment with someone, or a bit of jealousy or anger or something like that, or frustration. And so that all gets healed in the chambers, because essentially we don't know what we don't know, but the guides definitely do. And so they know exactly what you need to release. And so in that chamber, that relationship chamber can be for any relationship, okay? So not just one that is a romantic relationship. That one is more for the divine complement, soulmate, twin flame chamber. And then we have the universal love chamber. And universal love, of course, is our birthright. Okay, we are universal love, and it is our birthright to experience it. So in this chamber, all of the guides and the universal energies are coming in and opening the door for you to receive more universal love, meaning gifts from the universe, connection with your guidance. I mean, people have said to me about this one that they feel so much more connected to their guides and so much more connected to their mission. And of course, that excites me, because that's my job. My mission is to help you on your mission. So however that happens excites me. But really, this is about our I am presence. It's about the pure love that we are, and healing anything, especially childhood aspects that we've just done some work on. Things like that just get healed in this chamber. And I see, Mother Mary stepping in here. She's obviously very present today, and she's very present in the chambers. So this is very much about feeling loved by the universe, trusting the universe. So these three work really well together, really beautifully together. They clear out anything to stop us from meeting someone, or to stop us from being in that deeper relationship, open the doors to universal love on a deeper level, and all the relationships around us, which are our mirror. These relationships around us are a beautiful mirror, even though we don't always want to see that mirror, right? And so that chamber is really beautiful for that.
Amazing what is coming through on this, and how you put people in the chambers.
Yeah.
When they're in these chambers, what, again, will they be feeling something? Do people have to show up at a particular time?
No, yeah. So time wise, as soon as you sign up for them, you are in that chamber. So if you choose to do the 1, you're in that chamber right then for a whole month. If you choose to do the 3, you're in the 3 right then for a whole month. There's no need to book any sessions. There's no replays with this aspect of the package. There's no replays. You are literally remotely in that chamber in that moment. And what people tell me is that they sometimes they get, feeling like they wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, I just feel like really heightened and excited and happy. And sometimes people say they just feel really peaceful. And sometimes people say that their physical body feels different. Some people have tingling. Some people just have a sense of a deep sense of connection to themselves or their guides. And the other thing is that people say that they make different choices as well, because the thing with the chambers is one of the key things about it is it changes your thought patterns as well. So those thought patterns that we've had that might be a negative one about how we feel about ourselves or how we feel about someone else, that gets transformed. So as that thought comes in over that month, that gets transformed into a thought of love. And so this also shifts people's perceptions. And then, of course, we choose the foods that are a high vibration for our body. We choose perhaps to go for a walk, to, spend time in nature, and we choose it naturally. So, in the old days of perhaps doing CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, we would try and change a behavior, right? But obviously, we can't change a behavior until we actually change the frequency and the belief system that creates the behavior in the first place. So, it's a really beautiful way of doing it, and we don't have to do anything. So, it's even
Beautiful.
better, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, the healing chambers, the 3 options to work with Susan. Package A is 1 month in one of the healing chambers, and you get to choose, and someone just consciously chooses, and that's what they're put in. Is that their intention for it?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're here on the call, you felt drawn to be on the call on this subject. And so just to feel into what feels right for you. I never tell people what to do, but feel if it feels right to choose. So in the first package, you can choose one. So you can choose, which one you would like to go in, and you get to choose that. So choose which one you feel, or you can go in all 3, or whatever you choose. It's your choice
All right.
completely.
So package A is $97, and you can choose one. Package B is 1 month in the healing chambers, and you get all of the healing chambers for the month. And package C is a one-on-one session with Susan, 60 minutes, and that you'll be able to schedule. And then they're also put into the healing chambers. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, if they choose that. I mean, they can use that hour for whatever they want to use it. It's a whole hour, just to say.
Okay.
So a whole hour to work with me. So, we can do whatever healing you want to work with, and maybe at the end of the session go into a specific healing chamber, whatever you want to do. But I also want to say that also part of the package is something that I decided to add as well was I did some powerful intuitive healing retreats last year, and they were around reuniting with past souls and clearing your karma and contracts and beliefs, and reuniting with those souls that you're meant to reunite with. So whether that's on your mission or in your love relationships or whatever it might be. So I wanted to add that. So it's about 2 hours of healing on that one that people might be interested in. And the other one that's really, really, really good is a sexual healing one. So, we've had, whether it's been in this lifetime or whether it's been in previous times, we've all been everything, right? So there's been sexual trauma sometimes, maybe as a child. And also, really exciting, this bit is about the energy of orgasm. Okay, so not everyone wants to talk about that, but actually in this healing retreat.
How's that possible?
So essentially you can use the energy healing through orgasm with manifesting. And the reason why is because when we chose to come in and be human, that's what my guides tell me anyway, I'll ask them when I pass over to make sure that it's exactly right. But this is what they tell me, is that when we chose to be human, we chose to have a body so we would know when we were out of alignment with love, right? And our mission. We chose to have those emotional thoughts that we could just experience and flow through us. Of course, some of them get stuck, and that's why we have to heal them. But we also chose, how would we remember that we have a union with God? Isn't that profound? Like, yeah. So that union with God, that remembering of that union with God, one of the ways was to experience physical orgasm. How cool is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what we forgot is that we can manifest through that as well. So we can manifest in that energy.
And to put in the vibrational frequency of that,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
another level of creation that's
So
just
I added that as well, John.
yeah,
I
I love
added that as
it.
well.
I'm
Yeah.
so glad you did. So the recordings in
Yeah.
there are in
Yeah.
as well, these replays. Again, the sexual healing and the healing trauma and manifesting through energy and orgasm are included as part of the packages. Again,
Yeah.
package A with the one is $97. Package B with all the healing chambers is $177. And package C includes the recordings and includes the 1 hour with Susan. And with all these packages, there is a 2 payment option to take advantage of. And if you sign up for the healing chambers and if you have any doubts afterwards, there's a 30-day money back guarantee, no questions asked. So we make it super easy to say yes so that you can start receiving these frequencies and start benefiting from it. So you all take advantage of it. To do so, just click on the special offer link that's in the chat box or type in your web browser beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Susan27. And again, there's 20, well, there's less than 20 now. There's probably about 13, maybe 10 spaces still available for the one-on-one. So if you're considering that, you may want to take advantage of that now. And Susan, as we transition from going to special offer, let me see if Bridget, you're still here. Bridget has, I saw that your sons have an experience with the chambers, and then I want to find out what your question is as well for Susan. So if you don't mind unmuting yourself, we'd love to welcome you to here live.
Oh.
Hi, Bridget.
Hi. How are you guys?
Hi, Bridget. Hi,
Hi.
Bridget. Bless you. Oh.
Yeah, I have my son in the, I had him in the child one
The
first.
children's
and
chamber.
yes,
the protection chamber.
I
Yeah.
changed him to the heart one. And I have to say that I've noticed beautiful differences in him. And most recently, he went through quite a big trauma almost 2 years ago and has isolated himself from people. And he has actually let somebody into his life again since he beat him the chamber. So thank you.
Oh, bless him. Oh, thank you, Bridget. That's really lovely to share that. Thank you for sharing that. I'm so
Did you have a
glad.
question, Bridget? You've muted yourself, Bridget, or somebody muted you. It wasn't me.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I look over the chambers and I have to say I'm like a kid in a candy store. They all look amazing. So I don't know if you would recommend a specific one for me, and if there's a message kind of with that, or.
So I don't really want to recommend a chamber for you, but the sense that I'm getting is that yeah, thanks. So the sense that I'm getting is that there there is some old past karmic energy around relationships that would be really helpful for you to clear, and that will allow, and I'm sort of seeing it in your heart space, so that would allow you to open up. And I'm kind of seeing like a cage with a beautiful bird in it, and it's kind of ready for that bird just to expand. And I feel it's like a canary, and they're giving me a canary because it's about your song, and it's really about you. You've been caring for everyone else, and it's really about you now having your song. So the feeling that I'm getting with that is very much definitely the relationship chamber, and then you choose whether you feel you want to be in all 3 of them. You choose.
Okay.
I hope that helps you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you for those beautiful words. I'm glad your son is doing well.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'll continue to keep him in there. So thanks.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks, Bridget. All right, let's go to our next caller. Caroline, welcome to the show. Yeah, y'all find your unmute button. So when I call you, you know where.
Can you hear me?
Where are you, Caroline? Oh, hi, Caroline.
Hi.
Hi.
I can't see myself yet, so I don't know. Anyway,
Well,
okay.
as long as you
there
can
I
see
am.
Susan, you're good.
Yeah.
I can see you,
Um,
Caroline.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I just first wanted to just quickly say thank you, John, for being the special snowflake that you are. I really feel like
Thank you.
Oh, that's cute.
you just have such an incredible energy that I've recently connected with, and I just
Oh,
thank you for
awesome.
really
Thank you for
being.
that. Yeah.
Ah,
And this is synchronistic because usually I can't come on any of the live calls because I live in Europe, and so it. And then as soon as I got here, I felt really guided to ask a question. They were almost like, I was like, okay. So here we
because it's a
go.
different time because I'm in the UK, Caroline. So
Ah,
the last time John had me on, it was like 1 a.m.
oh my gosh. How awesome. So,
Yeah,
okay, so
go ahead.
yeah. Oh, I'm like shaking. I can
I
feel
love
so much
it.
energy.
Just take a breath, take a breath.
So, yeah. So, so yeah, I have been on my journey for quite a while
Yeah.
and recently been feeling, you could say, a whole nother level of light
Mhm.
come in,
Yeah.
and which has been incredibly beautiful.
Mhm.
But recently that has also synced up with really getting to some super deep old trauma,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
really, really deep stuff that it's like in these moments, it's such a strange moment or portal to navigate where you're
Yeah.
feels so expansive and coming up against these sort of oldest feelings of, for me, like helplessness
Yeah.
and unworthiness, and just like, but very old, like infant, it feels
Yeah.
like
It's actually womb energy. It's actually
yeah.
what I'm seeing kind of like on a sort of a video screen here is growing in the womb. So the perceptions of that, and you know it's all perfect, Caroline, right? It's all
Yeah.
perfect, but it's just it doesn't feel like it at the time. Let me just bear with me a second. Let me just listen to what they're saying. Ah, okay, thank you. Okay, I think we're going to do this for everybody, if that's all right, John. So they want to bring everyone in at that space. So what I'm hearing is the crown of sovereignty. So essentially, I do this particular process called soul rebirthing, which I'm really happy to do on a private session with anyone. But essentially, what I'm hearing is around about 3 months growing in the womb, Caroline, there was this sense of forgetting the sovereignty. Okay. Just never forgetting on your soul, but just forgetting in your frequency. Okay. And that was all planned. It was all planned. But of course, it's still there in the sense of your energy. And that's the feeling of I'm not worthy and so on. Okay. And I really see you here in the womb energy, growing in the womb. And I feel that I'm just asking who wants to come in and do this. Yeah, so this is Melchizedek stepping in here, okay? Because normally we would take you through the whole process of being reborn, yeah, to yourself and integrating, really being born to yourself, and maybe think about doing a private session with that. But essentially, what we want to do is just recreate that memory of feeling that you are truly a sovereign being of light, okay? So this is for everybody. So just come into your heart space. Okay, good. And I want you just to imagine that you're there, this beautiful baby growing in the womb. You're around about 3 months, and you know that you're safe and warm, and you have this beautiful cloak of protection around you, and you have your angels around you, and you start to remember in that moment that you are more than you are, that you are this divine being of light, the sovereign being of light. And in a moment, when you hear this tone, I want you to imagine that there is a beautiful crown being placed symbolically on your head. And from that moment on, you remember in your mind, in your soul, and in your frequency that you are a divine, sovereign being of light and fully worthy of the mission you chose this time. Okay, here we go. Just stay in your heart for a moment. Okay, now I want you to imagine that beautiful baby self with the crown on their head and the remembering that they are divinity and that all their needs are met at all times. And from this moment on, they remember that they are a pure divine being of light, choosing to be human. And so it is.
So
How do you
beautiful.
feel, Caroline?
Yeah, that was really beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. That's why you've been experiencing these feelings of unworthiness and so on. And, you know, I love it when they show me that, because the further back that we can go in our field, it's like a domino effect, right, in our energy. And so in the chambers, the same thing happens. It's like a domino effect throughout. Yeah, I love that. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm really glad that I asked. And I yeah, it's incredibly, in these past weeks, like touching into this particular trauma, right, so deep as to be in it. I think you're totally right. I can feel it in that prenatal space, and it's in the same moment that it is so incredibly vulnerable and challenging to move into. It's like there's also this like really really deep sense of liberation, like palpably, right? And so just thank you so much. Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Beautiful. Yeah. And thank you for sharing that process. And Caroline, thank you for coming on and saying what you did even from the beginning and sharing. And, you know, when I was talking to Melanie earlier, I was talking about refinement and meeting partnership and meeting the divine companion or complement. And I understand that when that anxiety, the feelings of having to go deeper than I've been before, even though I thought I already went deep, I recognize them now as part of the refinements and not part of a problem. It's like, oh, this is coming up for me, not to me. I'm experiencing it because I'm refining in a new way, and to bring in the energy of excitement, which is what you brought in at first. You were like, I can't, you know, like it's like I'm excited. It's like I'm nervous, but that nervousness is that playfulness. It's the one that's saying, wait, someone's here to play with me. Someone is like meeting me at this level. It's like I'm being met in places that I wasn't before. And that's what these galactic codes of love, Susan, that you're bringing to us through this consciousness is really lighting up the field with as well. So to experience even more aspects of that and realizing that as we go deeper into wherever it was, without having to know, but just knowing that it's refining, we can surrender into that and be with it in the most powerful way of who you are now, not who you used to be or not how people used to be with you. And it's what you're embodying through your vulnerable share and your courageous presence. That's the alchemy, to allow it to transcend. And then you bring in a resonant field like Susan is through these transmissions and the sound vibration and presence and the healing chambers. It's graceful transcendence. It's recognizing and remembering and bringing forth the light that you are. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you. And like I said at the beginning too, I have a really deep gratitude for, I would say, the alchemist that you are, and the way that you really work with the fields of energy that you create is just incredible.
I
It's
am a
really,
special snowflake for sure.
you really are. And of course, same goes for you, Susan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're all special snowflakes. Caroline, thank you so much. I received that with all my heart. All
I'd rather
right.
be a fluffy white feather.
You're a fluffy white feather, Susan. So it is. Oh, Peg, your smile. I have to call on you. Peg, unmute yourself. All of you guys. It's like I'm seeing all you guys. Oh,
Oh my
John,
gosh.
everybody.
Hi, Peg. John, can I
Hi
just say,
there.
people keep asking whether they can buy the package for someone else, and I just want to answer
yeah,
that.
thank you.
Yeah, I just want to answer, like, it keeps popping up. So the Universal Love Chamber is for anyone. The other ones, it is really about a soul's decision to step into it. However, the replays, so you know, the replays that I'm offering as well, they can be for anyone as well. So yeah, so I just wanted to clear that up. So the Universal Love, you can literally buy for anyone.
Excellent. Thank you for clarifying that question. And all right, hun, what is your question?
Well, thank you so much for calling on me and for honoring me in this way. I do appreciate it.
Welcome.
I can relate to an awful lot that's already been said, and I feel like I've already been given a healing that I'm very open to and welcoming, and with much gratitude, I thank you. My question is, I also have been on a path for quite a while. About 21 years ago, I was divorced from my ex-husband, but there still seems to be some lingering. However, I recently bumped into a piece of it, and it surprised me because I thought I had already dealt with that.
Yeah.
And it was a commitment that I had made to myself. He did something that was truly horrible. And at the time, I said to myself, I will never forgive you for that. Now, there's been a lot of work on my own part since then. I have been definitely on a deep path. And so I thought I had really cleared that out, but then I bumped into it again recently. So my question is, can you pick up if there's any more work for me to do? And if so, can we work with that?
So I just want to speak to what you're asking about and what you're experiencing, because I just want to say that when we bump into something, and I love the way you express that, that's brilliant. I bumped into this piece. Yeah, it's brilliant. 'Cause we bump into these pieces because it's the next alignment of frequency. Okay. So you did a brilliant job doing all the work that you needed to do. Okay. And it wasn't that you didn't clear it. It's just that the next frequency is coming in for you. Okay. And so as you are in the next frequency or stepping into the next frequency, then these bits need tidying up. What I'm actually being shown is, so we have soul contracts with each other, and I know you know that, right? And we have pre-birth soul plans. Okay. And so these are pre-birth soul plans that we've chosen to come together with certain people like John and I. We've come together at certain people at certain times in our timelines when we are that frequency and we need to match, right? And so what I'm feeling, okay, with the husband, the ex-husband that you're talking about, is that there is a need for complete compassion, but on a soul understanding. Okay. So the feeling I get is that it's seeing him as thank you for coming into my experience and showing up and being that role on the stage for me. Okay. Yeah, hear me out here. I know it's hard. I know it's hard, right? But to
actually, this is good.
Yeah. So seeing that, my God, stepping right in here, I can feel them. So it's really important you hear this, right? So imagine, so get that person in your mind, okay? And see that person in your mind. and feel on a soul level the compassion of him choosing to play on the stage with you. And what I'm hearing is, as you do this, you're actually entering into a completely new opening for your heart, because you have, when these experiences happened, I'm being told from my guides, when these really difficult experiences happened in your relationship, you were able to love yourself enough to stand. And I'm hearing you stand and saying no more, right? So these are the words I'm hearing. Yeah. And so I'm not hearing I never forgive you. I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing in your higher self, I'm standing and saying no more. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. So the next piece for you was the compassion on a soul level, and recognizing him, like, you are me, I am you. Okay, we are, all of us here together are one. Okay, and so the reflection of you is the reflection of me. Okay, so when you think of your ex, think of him as me if you want to, or John. Yeah, think of him as John. Okay, and then just see him as this incredible soul that you chose to come together with in this lifetime. That, I have to tell you, is profound healing when we do that. I've done it with one of my exes, and it was the piece of the puzzle. Okay, but I also feel that might be really helpful for you is to think about all of the three chambers. So I don't know if you have actually signed up for that yet, but to think about all of the three chambers together. Where's she gone? And think about stepping into all of the three chambers, because I'm feeling that this is on many different levels for you. Okay, my love.
That's probably true. You know, I thought I had done all of that, because I totally agree with your verbiage. And I have, you know, I talk to his higher self a lot, because I know we're best friends. And I have said to him, thank you for being a big pain in the ass, because I wouldn't have grown without you.
Yeah.
But that's why it surprised me when I bumped into this recent one. I thought, oh my gosh, I thought I already dealt with that.
Hey, Peg.
But I do appreciate.
Hey, Peg, when you talk to him that way, instead of saying that, why don't you just say, thank you, I love you.
Okay.
Thank you, I love you. And really feel that. Because even in your snarky type of sarcasm, which is loving, I feel that, there's still energy to it. And what if you just get down to the purity of your truth? Because it is your truth. I can feel it in you. What if it's just, hey, I love you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Stop at that and just really allow yourself to love. These galactic codes of love will not let you vibrate at anything else but that. And that's where we're all heading to in one way or another.
Right. That's absolutely correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thank you. That feels absolutely correct. Just nothing else but the love.
I'm actually feeling, I'm going to say this, John, I haven't asked you about this, but my guides are giving me a nudge here, and so I always listen to them. And last year we did an event, a special event, and it was literally being taken through that process. So if it was okay with you, John, we can add that as an extra gift for anyone who buys a package, you know, today or whatever.
No, that's
for the next 24 hours.
Do that.
You don't want that. And
yes,
it
to
really
love.
is
Yes, to love. Forget the sarcasm.
Pre-birth soul plan event that I ran. So you'll get the recording of that. So the whole thing where you actually go through the journey of connecting with a particular person that you want to heal the relationship with. Yeah. Oh, so that might be it. You can go back and do it again and again with everybody in your life if you want. So yeah. So I get Wendy to send that over, my sister, and I'll get her to send that to April.
Wonderful. Yeah. So Peg, you thought you were coming on to get something, and you wound up giving us all of something.
Yeah.
So thank you,
Peg.
Thank you.
Thank you for my guides. They just nudge me and they're like, offer that.
I love it. All right, Peg. Thank you. All right, let's get to the call. I want to get to a few more of you guys, because I'm feeling so many of y'all. Is it Lelia? I hope I'm not pronouncing that right. If you'll please unmute.
Layla. It's 22 here. So
Oh, I love
22,
it.
22, 22, 22. Oh my God, Layla, right on it. Hi, Layla. I actually know Layla, so it's
Oh,
lovely to
awesome.
see you. How you
My
doing?
I'm so
perspective.
grateful. I got package C.
Sweet.
Oh, yay.
I'm excited. Okay, I'm calling because I'm one of the people that actually does speak up. It's kind of always been in me to speak up, but the childhood pattern would be to speak up and then not have my needs validated or met and be left holding that need by myself and not able to meet it, and having to either suppress it or find a way to live with that limitation. And it brings up fury. Like I get so furious with that. And so, and I would like to have a beloved in my life, but I do know that this is asking to be healed.
So Layla and I know each other from a mediumship group that I ran. So she was on that, which is really lovely, and she did really well with it. But what I'm seeing, Layla, with you is, and I hear what you're asking for as well, you know, to have that divine complement in your life, definitely. So I see across your heart space, almost like a barrier, okay? And we might call these heart walls, okay? And it's not really there, but it's tangible in the sense of a frequency, okay? And what I was hearing when you were speaking was that it is your incredible defense mechanism, okay, to not be hurt. So by being perhaps a bit angry, a bit defensive, a bit kind of speaky uppy in a way that had a vibration of you need to meet my needs, okay, that also gives kind of like a frequency of stay away from me, okay. It's hard to hear, and I really get that it's hard to hear those things, but it's really important to hear it because that is the next layer of your healing, okay. And I feel the emotion, so as I'm connecting with you, I can really feel the emotion in there, and it's almost like it's really ready to burst, okay. Are you feeling emotional as you're hearing this? Yeah. Okay, all right. So let's just bring some healing. Oh, thank you. This is the Palladian Collective stepping in here. They always want to introduce themselves. They're so funny. They're like, we are the Palladian Collective. Okay, all right. So they're coming in and and they want to heal some resentment just running in the heart field. Okay, so this is for everybody. And they're coming with the frequency, but they're coming with a color. And the color that I'm seeing is actually like a magenta color. So if you imagine when you receive this, everybody here, if you receive this, just imagine the magenta color going into your heart, okay? And this is, yeah, I will say that. They're also saying that when you release the frequency of resentment, okay, this allows you as well to receive more gifts from the universe because you're opening up your heart field. So here we go, right? Take a breath in. Just, Layla, just come into the silence. Then take a deep breath and then just really blow that energy out and feel your heart expanding. Good. How does that feel?
I don't know. I just get the picture of the Pillsbury Doughboy.
What's that?
Big white, big white
Like soft, is it soft? Is it
Yes.
soft? Yeah. Because I
And
was
it's
hearing, oh, somebody said their heart tickled. That's really sweet. What I was getting a sense of, what they said, now she's ready to step into the divine complement chamber. So I heard that, like my guides were saying, now she's ready to step into it. So it was almost like that had to be opened for you so that you were ready to go on that journey, you
mm,
know, of healing
mhm.
on different levels now in your heart. So when you think about the speaking now and kind of saying how you feel, how does it feel? Does it feel softer?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah, like I don't have to push and force to
Mm-hmm.
try to be seen and get my need met.
Yeah, because all your needs are met, right? Yeah. So all our needs are met.
And it's really funny because the last time you were on BTO, you did work with me with the Plating Collective on resentment.
Wow. So here comes another layer. Chung.
Oh my gosh. So thank
Wow. No, you're welcome. And remember, we're in the portal now. So we're in this portal of frequency where you can't go back. Yeah. You have to go forward, as John said right at the top of this call. You can't go back. Like, you literally are in it now. And it's time to really honor that frequency. Good. Excellent.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
Layla, thank you so much.
Thank you, John.
And Layla, just to tell you about the synchronicity, yesterday I got taken into a place also. I was talking to someone about this feeling of a glass ceiling of hitting up, and I felt it cracking and actually breaking through, but there's still remnants of it that needed to come up in conversation. And part of what's coming through that was causing that bumping up to this layer that's an illusionary layer, but that I keep myself in, was resentment. And resentment that actually originated because I was taught not to trust because of the way that I grew up, because of past memories and all that. And to be taken through the transmission of releasing the resentment, of transitioning the trust and softening to the heart to say yes to trusting again myself and other people and circumstances and other things. And I trust tremendously, but there's still layers that we're breaking loose and setting free because again, the trajectory that we're on as these galactic codes come online and activate within us, the spaces for the shards of those denser energies, just their environment isn't fertile for them to keep blossoming anymore. We're transitioning into new layers where we're going beyond the weeds and into the flowers now. And that's where we're being asked to live and to share from and to shine from and to illuminate the beauty of your aroma, your petals of the flower, everything of that creation. So it's thank you for being the conduit, for asking what you need and allowing Susan to bring it in, not just for you, but for all of us to benefit from as well. So again, the giving and receiving are just so beautiful today.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, too. Well, Susan, I can't believe we're already at 90 minutes. It's crazy. Y'all, the special offer, the special one healing chamber or all of them, or a private session with Susan. There's the bonus that's added. There's the recordings as well. The links in the chat box. Y'all take advantage of this. This is such great work. I love working with Susan. And you've already heard from other people who worked with her, and I just know that you're going to love her also. So again, the links in the chat box. We're going to run the replay. So the replay will be out actually a little bit later this afternoon and come on at normal time, BTO normal time. I love that we're on a 2:22 your time, Susan. That was perfect.
It was amazing. Yeah.
As we opened up the 2 portal yesterday and up to the 2:22 portal and today's call and in February 22nd. So again, the replay will be up in a little bit. And Susan, I have to ask you, we're going to run just a little bit over because I want to get into experience.
Right.
It relaxed something in my heart and I didn't have a charge of it. But before we get on the call, you shared with me that you had someone very close to you transition lately and you've been in communication with them. And in the communication, you're asking if there was a particular cause for it. And then we had a little bit of conversation with it. And again, what got it was so beautiful. And I
You
really
want to
hope
talk to it?
that you guys will receive this. It'll take just a few more minutes, but it was so deeply relieving and illuminating and reminding me of what I've known, but things that we allow other things to get in the way of our true understanding of this. So Susan, if you wouldn't mind sharing, that'd be wonderful.
I will share, yeah. And just to say that anyone who bought the package earlier, you get the bonus as well. Someone's just asked. So we'll make sure April gets that over to you. So don't worry about that. Yeah, so on the 17th of January, my father passed away suddenly. He was quite young. Well, I think he's quite young, 78. And he was fit and healthy and renovating a home that we have that I've now inherited, but essentially a house that was empty. And he was very fit and healthy. And you never would have known that there's anything wrong with him. Anyway, so suddenly I get a call from his wife, and she said that he's had a stroke and he can't speak and he's going into the ambulance. I'm like, okay. And she said to me, I don't know whether this is anything to do with it, but she said a couple of days ago, we both went up and got the booster jab. And she said, I felt a bit funny, but your dad actually felt really unwell. And obviously then 2 days later, she found him on the floor on his knees and he couldn't move. And when we went to hospital, they did a scan and they saw that his body was full of blood clots. And the doctor spoke to me and said that they'd found a lot of spike protein. Okay. So, of course, then he was classed as COVID, which is another story. But anyway, so I did get to see him. And it was beautiful seeing him because I was able to be with him in that presence and I could speak to him on a soul level because my dad was very into the Galactics and very into spiritual things, unlike the other side of my family. So I laughed with him and said, oh, you didn't expect to see me in a spacesuit this early, did you? You know, we were working because I had to wear one of these kind of suits because it was a COVID ward. Anyway, he came through literally that next morning that he passed, and he came through in the middle of the early hours. And then the next day he spoke to me and said that it was his time. And I said to him, but didn't you pass with the jab? And he said, it was my time. However, he knew that when he felt that go into his body, he knew that that was it. And he knew that that was going to take him over. Okay. So I suppose the reason why John's asked me to say this to you is that it doesn't matter how you pass or when you pass, whatever choice you've made, whether it's in an accident or whether it is with what's going on in the world and choices that people are making. Actually, it is a soul's choice. Okay. That doesn't mean we don't help people, and that doesn't mean I help a lot of people actually that have experienced some reactions from the jab. But many of them are awakening to themselves and to their soul's journey. And so some people are meant to stay and some people are not meant to. And depending on what we've chosen, whether we've chosen to be here in this golden earth, this new frequency, or whether we've chosen, like my dad, to be more help to me on the other side, to be honest, than he was when he was here. He's much more help to me now. So whether we've chosen that or whether we've chosen to stay and really expand and heal our bodies because our soul is talking to us, and whether we've chosen the jab to do that, it is our soul's choice. And so it allows us to come and step out of the blame and the fear and the judgment. And I think that's a really helpful way of seeing the world now. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just so beautiful, Susan. And again, it's the judgment, the anger, the fear that we carry with circumstances and want to point the finger and condemn. And it's such a beautiful organic process that we're all in, and we're all here to help each other evolve, and also to rise into a frequency where the quality of our evolution is met with the love that we truly are here to experience and is our birthright. And again, to be in a place that we can relax in our knowing and in our power. And again, you know this on a subconscious level. If you don't consciously, we carry it. It's like, we know, I was like, oh, that was how they chose to transition.
And Rihanna said
right?
her daughter passed away in a horrific accident, and she's just asking, is it pre-written? My feeling, and this is just mine and what my guides tell me, is that we have many exit points. I know I would have been in 9/11 at the time when it happened, but I changed my flight to a week earlier. I would have been in 7/7 because I worked in Edgware Road in London. And I didn't go in that morning because I was working with a teenage pregnancy that night, and we did flexi hours. So I wasn't there at that time. Those could have been exit points, right? But I needed to be here longer. So I feel that we have many exit points, and maybe that was an exit point for that soul at that time. And it's really hard when children leave and loved ones leave. It's really hard for the human perspective. But we also have to honor the fact that the soul is perfect and knows exactly what it is supposed to be doing at this time.
Beautiful share, Susan. Thank you so much. And again, special offer, everybody. It's in the chat box. You can go to beyondtheordinaryshow.com/Susan27. Susan, you no longer have to read the chat. I'm relieving you of those duties.
Sorry, I can't resist.
I know, she's like, Susan Gonzo keeps, I can feel you.
Sorry, I'm going to take it off.
I want to thank all of y'all for being on this call. I wanted to call on so many of y'all, and thank you. I hope you received what you came for, and we certainly received your contribution energetically and your love. And it's with that I bow to you in namaste. Wish you a wonderful day, beautiful evening, and I look forward to seeing you on the next call. Love you.